been following me for a while, you know that I used to be the biggest fantasy reader, like ever. And in the recent months, or kind of like in the recent year, I've focused a lot on romance. And I want to change that. So today, I'm gonna be reading a bunch of fantasy books. And I'm actually very excited for it. Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody. I hope you are all doing amazing. I am, and that means I'm in the mood to read some fantasy. It's been too long. I mean, I did read one fantasy book last month. I think I read like one each month, but I used to only read fantasy. I used to hate romance until I was like 20. And now that I'm 24, I've mutated into some kind of romance lover, which, sure, I do love romance, and I don't want to say that romance books aren't reading because I love to read romance books. But I just want to read a good fantasy book again, and I have some contestants that I'm gonna go through within the next week and for you within that video. So let's jump in to the first book right off the bat. The first book is this. This is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. This came out in the last week of November, I think. It is part of the Crowns of Nyxia series, so Serpent and the Wings of Night. Anyway, I loved these. I had to get it because just look at how beautiful it is, alright? Just nothing compares. Nothing compares. I absolutely adored the first two books. If you know, you know, but I'm gonna explain it to you. This is a technically 6-book series, but it's 3 separate duologies. Right? So the first 2 books are a separate series. This is about a character that we got to know in the first series. We're gonna be reading this. As far as I know, I could technically also, where is it? I could also read it on my Kindle, I think. Let me check. It is on Kindle Unlimited. So if you want to check the book out for free, essentially. I always say Kindle Unlimited is free when it is in fact not free, but it feels like it's free. The books are free, the subscription is just not free. Anyway, let's go back. I could technically read it on the Kindle, however, I will start to read the hardcover, just because I can. There is a hidden cover underneath this one. Ta-da! And it is also kind of pretty. I'm enjoying it. I like it. It looks beautiful. The back says, "This is the tale of how a chosen one falls." I'm excited. Let's get reading this book. And let's move to the chair. All right. We are here. I'm set. I'm at my space. I have it here. I have it here. Essentially, nothing can get in my way. Technically, I'm the only thing that can get in my way, because I do that a lot. Let's start reading, shall we? Guys, I don't know how long I read it for, okay? But I'm 112 pages into this book. It's amazing. It's one of the best things I've ever read in my entire life. I don't know how this happens all the time. Honestly, Carissa Broadbent, amazing. It's perfection. I don't know what to say about it, okay? It's incredible. So, what's this book about? What am I even reading? What's going on here? I'd be so happy to tell you. So we are following Misha, and she used to be a priestess for the sun god. You know her if you've read the first 2 books. If you don't want to, you could start with this one. However, if you want to read all of them, you should start with the first one. Okay, that's just how it goes. So she was once a priestess for the sun god, but she was turned into a vampire by the prince of the shadow court, whatever, right? So the bad prince. Essentially, he turned her and she killed him for it, right? But then she was captured by the prince's sister, so the princess, and she was then supposed to be unalived by the king, who is a little crazy. He's just very old, alright? Just like a very old king. And then she was saved by the prince, because there's another prince, right? He's a bastard-born prince, but he's still a prince. So he saves her because she has to help him resurrect the god of the dead. So that's what they're doing. They're currently on their way into the underworld, retrieving 5 like fragments of this god's soul that he left to be resurrected. However, she has a secret mission that she's supposed to kill the god once resurrected to, like, finally actually really kill him, because he's not really dead. He's just, like, in a very deep sleep. I think that's the best way I can describe it. So far, it's going great. It's giving me the enemies to lovers I am hoping for. I have my hot water bottle because I am a little cold, but this is making it so much nicer. I have my very thick blanket, and I brought back out the ring light, by the way, because it's already very dark outside. Anyway, I'm having a grand time with this, and I'm just really enjoying it. So let me get back to it and get back to you with an update soon on how it's going. But so far it's going great. Alrighty, I think it's time for an update. I am pretty much halfway done, I think. A little over halfway, maybe. I'm not sure, I don't know. I'm having fun though, and that's like the biggest part. Listen, it is very good, very fun. I'm trying to go slow here. I'm just not sure how slow I can go, because the book is very good and I'm having a good time. It's not that I'm not expecting what will happen in the end, right? Betrayal is bound to happen. I just don't know who will betray who at that point. The book is good, the book is fun, and I will probably read until late tonight. I'm trying not to read all night because my sleeping rhythm is already messed up and I don't want to mess it up any further. It's already like the worst. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to the book and gonna get back to you later with an update on how it's going. But so far, I'm having a great time and I'm absolutely enjoying it. It is the next morning. I'm officially on part 5 of the book. So technically the book is sectioned off into different parts depending on what part of the underworld they're in. So right now they're in secrets. It's really good. Okay? The romance is starting to get places where I'm getting all the fantasy action that I want in my life. It's so much fun. I'm having the time of my life right now. Honestly, I just love this book. It's so good. It's so much fun. But I will now be finishing the book, and I'll get back to you once I've done so with my final thoughts, because it's just so much fun. Ah. Okay, I am this close to finishing the book. Okay, I've got 20 pages left. 20 pages. But I am here to make a prediction for the second book. It is a prediction. It is just in my head. Okay, but what do we think that Azar, I don't know what his name is, okay? But if he becomes the god of the underworld, because he's so good at it, he's so compassionate about the dead, I feel like that would be very good. I feel like that would, like, suit him a lot. I mean, sure, he could also just become king, but at the same time, like, I have a feeling that's, like, where we're gonna end up. Don't do this to me. The thing is, I was expecting parts of the ending, but other parts just blew my mind. I have no words left. I am bamboozled. I have been bamboozled by the book. I don't know how to exist now. It's hard. Sometimes when you read a book and it just leaves you completely speechless, that's exactly the best thing they could have ever done. You know, the hard thing about reading fantasy books back to back is that you're so stunned by the ending, especially if it's the first book in a duology, and of course it's leaving you on a cliffhanger, right? That's what these books do. But I'm so glad that I picked this up. I am beyond happy with it. I love it. It's amazing. I will need a minute before I can pick the next book, okay? I'll need a second for myself to center. This is my I've been outside yesterday, don't talk to me outfit. It's a pajama. Anyway, The Dagger and the Flame is what we're reading. I think that this is a standalone. I'm not sure, not 100%. I'm gonna be reading it today. It's a rainy, kind of darker day today. Saturday, and I'm just ready to dive into this. I have no clue what's going on. All I know is that this is enemies to lovers, and I'm probably gonna have a good time. By the way, in between reading, I'm also gonna be studying because I have an exam coming up, but putting that to the side right now, it's secondary. We need to set priorities, and my priority is this. So, let's read. There is a map! I just adore maps. Can we quickly take a second to talk about the fact what a horrible idea it was of me to start reading fantasy books where I actually have to do thinking and world building in my head when I'm actually supposed to study for an exam that I have in 3 days. I did a lot of studying the past few days, so right now I'm thinking of taking a break. In between, because I am me, I have read all these books. Now, I went a little bit into Omegaverse, and then I read When Gracie Met the Grump, which I thought was gonna be romance, and turns out it's a Superman fanfiction. It was fun, though. I really liked it, but yeah. Anyway, I read these 3 books. Do they qualify as fantasy? No. Which is why we are getting back into The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I have read like 3 pages of it. That's a lie. I've read 6 pages so far. But I can already tell that it's going to take me a little more brain power than I'm used to. Not that it's a lot, but it takes more brain power than your average spicy romance book, which, let's be honest, that's exactly what Omegaverse is, right? Anyway, let's get into this. And I'm gonna do an hour of a studying break in which I will be reading. Alright, small update time. It's not really been an hour. I've read 60 pages. So far, the book is good, but I am yet to be flashed. This one had me confused because in the beginning, I thought the main character was a child because the way that I read her chapter read itself as if she were a child. I thought she was like maybe 6 or 7. And there was a time jump of a year. And turns out she's not actually a child, but she's a teenager. So that's fun. That confused the heck out of me. So far, it's good. We're in a city where you have cloaks and daggers, and they're like enemies, but they both consume the same stuff in a way. So you have the shade. And if you eat the shade, which is kind of like a powder, right? If you eat it, then you turn into a dagger and you get like incredible stealth, and you have the feeling that you want to unalive somebody. That's kind of what happens. And if you make it into clothing and boots, then you become a cloak and you're like an incredible thief all of a sudden. And she just joined the cloaks because her mother was unalived by a dagger. The person, not the tool. So far, I'm intrigued and I'm excited to see where it's going. And I will meet you again once I know a little bit more about the book, because right now I really don't. 60 pages is not a lot for a fantasy book. It's the next day. Again, we're still reading this book. However, I need to show you something. Look at what just got here. Quicksilver! I'm excited to read this. This is the regular edition, by the way, because it has 2 covers, and like the normal covers on the outside, technically, but I turn it around because I really do love this cover. It's so beautiful. The entire book is super beautiful. This is the regular edition. I do really want to read this. A lot of people loved it, but I think I'm gonna do a separate video of this. Just because. Anyway, let's continue reading this book. Right now, my study method, because yes, I am still studying for my exam, which is in 2 days. Right now the method is read a chapter, do index cards. Read a chapter, do some index cards. By the way, if you're seeing this on hopefully Saturday, I survived. Let me get back to the book, and then in a bit, I'll get back to you with an update on how it's going. Hi. I don't even know what to say, okay? It's 4:30, it's dark out, I don't know what happened. I am so glad that I brought back out the ring light for this video because winter is here. But yeah, the book is fun. The book is good. I only have one thing that I wished was more, And that was, I wish I had a little more of a description. Because sure, I can imagine some things in my head, right? But not everything. I have this kind of feeling image of what the town is looking like and what the house that they're currently in is looking like. But I'm not entirely sure on any of it. So that's fun. I am liking that they're giving her more of a backstory, like past love interests. And I'm still not sure whether or not this book is young adult or new adult. I'm gonna tell you by the end of it. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to read now before I dive back into my index cards. But I can tell you that studying is actually going pretty good. I'm kind of proud of myself. Also, a lot of people are dying, which I like. Like in the fantasy sense, like not real life. Sometimes I walk up to my roommates and I'm like, you know what? I'm looking for a book that's just the perfect mixture of like people are being unalived and romance. And I used to think that was what thrillers were like. No, that's what fantasy books are for. That's exactly the definition of fantasy books. But that was in my phase where I used to read primarily romance, and I just forgot that fantasy was a very cool genre where you have world building, magic, a little sprinkle of murder, and a little sprinkle of romance. Let's get back to the book. 160 pages in, things are getting good. I am enjoying where this book is taking me right now. I like the whole, like, I actually did try to kill you, but you just didn't die trope. It's amazing. I am now officially in part 2, where things are getting spicy, and I like it. Well, spicy in the sense of good, not in the sense of smutty. People are dying. Okay, but question, do you ever just read a book and you're trying to read fast because you want to know what happens, but you're also trying to read slow because you don't want the book to be over? This is a slow burn, enemies to lovers romance, and I'm here for it. I am so here for it. The story itself was also kind of slow burn, like in the sense that the beginning was slow, and I didn't know what to think of it in the beginning, but now I am loving it. The issue is, I'm 2/3 into the book, right? I'm on page 320, and I don't want it to be over, but I have a feeling that by midnight tonight, the time that I set myself to go to bed, I'm gonna be done with it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading so that I can be done before midnight, but let me tell you, this book, a lot of fun. A lot. A whole lot. I'm so sweaty. Okay, so first of all, it's not a fucking standalone, but it's so good. Thing is, the book just came out, so obviously the second book's most likely still being written. It was very good though. Very good. I am very sweaty. It took a lot out of me. I read those last like 200 pages in about an hour. It was so good. So good. You don't even know. I love fantasy. Usually when I try these videos of reading one kind of book for a week, they end horribly. This time, I am so winning. Because I love reading fantasy. I just haven't done it in a while because I've had not much luck and I wasn't in the mood for it. But now, I don't even know what to do with myself now. My life has lost purpose. I don't want to exist right now. I just want to be in this book. Let me in. It is an adult romance, let me tell you. Not to the point where you're like, ugh, it's obnoxious, but there is one spicy scene in there. Like, if you compare it, I would probably compare it to the first ACOTAR book, like, spice-wise. Which some people would still say is YA. So much fun. We are about to read the next book, and I know what you're thinking. Vivian, don't you have an exam tomorrow? Yeah, I do. But I missed my therapy appointment this morning because I was not in the mindset for anything, and I was just focused on the exam tomorrow, so now I'm definitely not in the groove anymore, and I will be reading this. The Darkness Within Us. I've talked about this book before. This is technically the second book to The Shadows Between Us. They are kind of also standalone-ish, but I would recommend that you read The Shadows Between Us before you read this one, just because this is one of my all-time favorite books. It's so amazing. I don't know why not everybody knows about this, but it's an incredible book, and I like it a lot. Yeah, anyway, I have not read this. This came out recently. I don't know when exactly it came out, but sometime this year, and I've been wanting to read it. Also, it's a very small fantasy book, and I don't think I have the brain power to read a big one. It has about 320 pages, so easy to read fantasy. So I'm just gonna open it up. This is the first edition of the book, so it is stunningly beautiful. And we're just gonna jump right in. I had other options, but I felt like this would probably make me happiest. I don't know what exactly will happen in the book, but as always, I will tell you throughout the book what's going on. You know what I like about fantasy books? They are so unhinged. The first sentence in this book is, "My husband is taking too long to die." This is such a fun book. I'm sorry, are you trying to tell me right now that the footman, the guy with the son, is not the love interest? I got attached to him. Because it's gonna be the pretend grandson, right? Right. Anyway, let me tell you about the plot of the story. So we have our female main character. I forgot her name. What's her name? Her name is Chrysantha. Okay. We have Chrysantha, and she's married to this old guy, the Duke, some Duke, and he's on his deathbed, and she married him because she's a woman, right? And she kills him because he's kind of dying, and she just is like, I want freedom. So she kills the guy. The guy is then dead. She is the Dowager Duchess. I think that's what she is, right? Yeah. So she's just like, I'm gonna spend my money. I'm free, finally. There's this really cute guy who works for her, and he's like a nice person. So I thought he was gonna be the love interest. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, this dude comes along, and he's sassy, and he talks to her, and he's like, you know, the Duke that died, he's my grandpa. Now I'm confused because I don't know who the love interest is, but I'm gonna find out because I'm gonna read probably all night until I'm done with the book. I did not do a lot of studying today because I was really, really overwhelmed. I also didn't do a lot of reading today, again, because I was overwhelmed and I just played a bunch of Sims, which is also fine, but I'm gonna get back to the book. I think I'm about 50 pages in, and it's good so far. I'm liking it. It's really quick to read, really easy. Anyway, let me get back to the book, and we'll speak soon about how it's going. But so far, I can't complain. Well, that went in a completely different direction than I was expecting to go tonight. But I've been so stressed by this stupid exam tomorrow that I did, in fact, I read a little bit. I think I'm on page, hold up, let me see. I'm on page 80, which works fine, right? Page 80, but I also finished an entire spicy Christmas book, which is, can I tell you something? If you are an audiobook person, I can highly recommend the audiobook. It's dual narration, and he is a spicy voice actor. Like, not the guy who reads the book, but the main character, like the person in the book, and she's like a listener. Anyway, that's kind of like the Christmas novella that is very spicy, but also like very cute. I liked it. But at some point, I had to switch from the audiobook to the book because I was getting uncomfortable. But that's just a me thing, right? I have boundaries that are probably a little more boundary-ish than the regular person's boundaries. So what's a regular person? I don't really know. I don't really care. But this one, also fun. I read a little more, but not too much. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully with news on the book, though. Friends, I did it. I passed my exam and it went well. I've not read anything since we last spoke about the book, but I'm going to now. I'm going to sit down, read, and take out the clip because this isn't working. But it's a cute Christmassy clip. Look. My mom got it for me. Alrighty, it's Friday night still, okay? I am exactly 200 pages into the book. It's going good so far. I'm having a great time. I forgot how much fun fantasy was. How much fun is it to just be at a ball, in a ballroom, dancing, and then asking your partner why there's blood on his sleeve, just randomly. But it's not weird because no, he's not in the mafia. No, he can shapeshift. And he has horns and a tail. It's fun. Enemies to lovers in the best way possible. I'm having a grand old time. This is so much fun. I will probably be reading the last 100 pages today as well, just because I can't. I took a break this afternoon to play some Sims with my roommate. We created ourselves and I became a funeral director. Anyway, let's not talk about the fact that I am obsessed with death. Anyway, this book is so much fun. I can encourage you to read it, and I will probably finish it tonight because it is so much fun. So, let me get back to reading it, and I will come back to you as soon as I'm done with this, because let's be honest, it's probably gonna be another, not even an hour. I also like that she's just simply not afraid of him. Like, he has horns, and he has people there to protect her from him, and she's just like in his face all the time being like, you can't do that, I need respect from you. I know you're stronger, I know you could kill me with just like a flick of your fingers, but no, you don't get to boss me around. I love that so much. She's such a fun character, and she's not like the typical damsel in distress. No, she's fun, and she's like, I'm gonna fix my own life because nobody else will, which is kind of sad. I'm sorry, but okay. Hear me out. You make me forget all my rules and reasons for everything. You make me want to believe it's possible not to be alone forever. You make me want to claim the whole world and gift it to you on a silver platter. You are unlike anyone I've ever known. And gods, I love your mouth. The way it smiles. The words that come out of it. How it feels against mine. And just looking at your lips makes my mouth water. It's the feet kicking. It's so good. Damn it. This is harsh. It's done. It's over. Okay, so the thing about this book, right? Hold on. I need to put the bookmark into the book somewhere. The thing about this book, there is no sequel. There is no sequel. Because it's standalone. Sure. There is a first book in the series, technically. Although that story is complete in itself. These are interconnected fantasy standalones. However, you should read the other one first. Just because, okay? I tell you what to do, you just do it. You just follow. If it is about these books, yes. Where is the dust jacket? Ta! You could have said something that you'd seen it all along. It was up there. But I found it. Let me say one thing about these books. Trisha Levensteller never disappoints. Never. I hope her name is pronounced Trisha. These books, every single one of her books was a banger. Like, literally. Like, Daughter of the Pirate King? Yes. Please. Okay, I've only read 4 of her books now, but that's a lot, right? Compared to other authors. I really like this. It was kind of giving Bridgerton, but with demons. I'm a huge fan. This was so much fun. There were queer side characters in this, and it was just so natural. It was just not a big deal. It was just normal. I love this. There wasn't a romantic side character, and everybody was like, yeah, sure, that fits perfectly into the story, and I was like, the world is perfect. I mean, we have demons, but the world is perfect. Every time I read fantasy, I realize how much freaking fun it is to get lost in these fantasy books. I'm really glad that I read this. I'm honestly really glad that I read all of these books. All 3 of them were so much fun. I will definitely be reading more fantasy in the near future because, let's be honest, it's so much fun. And with that, I will leave you because, let's be honest, it's time for me to sleep. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you don't already, consider subscribing and I will see you for the next bookish video that I make. Bye, everybody! The question is, what do I do now with my life? Like, it's over for me. Not really that... Okay, it's not that deep, but... What do I do now? I go to sleep. That's what I do now. I will go to sleep. Okay. Good night!